We're here today to produce a video on the 545 RFE, 45 RFE, and 68 RFE Dodge and Jeep trucks. This is most commonly found on your 1999 and up Jeep Grand Cherokee and Dodge Durangos with the 4.7 liter engine. It's also found on the Ram trucks with the 5.7 liter engine. Now, unlike the RE models, if you have this transmission, rather than containing all individual solenoids, it contains one complete solenoid assembly, most commonly referred to as a solenoid block or solenoid pack. This still is going to have one electrical connection coming up through the case, but rather than an internal harness, the connection goes directly to the block. So we're going to just show you how to remove and replace one on these transmissions today. We're looking at a core transmission at our teardown plant facility. This core obviously has been removed from the vehicle, and it has got the pan facing towards the camera here. We've got some of the pan bolts off. We're going to remove the rest of them and come back to the camera here. We'll show you what we've got. Just adding a revision, guys. Besides fitting 4.7 and 5.7 liter models, it also fits the 6.7 liter 07 and up diesel applications. Okay guys, here we are with the pan off. Just to cover this, the pan contains 15 8mm bolts, and then once we got the pan out of the way, you've got the filter and the valve body. The bottom of the valve body is exposed, and the silver filter you'll see up in the upper right is a cooler return can filter. You know, as a good rule of thumb, at least once a year, obviously anytime you have the pan off, you should do the main filter and that cooler return, but some guys just do just the main and leave the cooler return alone. It will fill with contaminants, and it's really good to extend the life of your unit by keeping it clear. That's specifically true on all your towing models. This unit was a four-wheel drive, so it has a little deeper sump here on the filter. The two-wheel drive will have a shallower sump. Don't let that alarm you. The filter was attached right here on this end where I'm pointing to with a T25 Torx bit. You undo that Torx bit, gently twist the filter and move it to the side. Notice the bottom of the valve body. Here's your mounting points. This is the rear of the transmission, this is the front. Again, it's 8mm bolts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Very spread out. All these other bolts in between you see, you've got some Torx setting screws. Don't mess with those, and don't touch any of your Torx bolts at this time, other than the one to remove the filter. What we're going to do right now is we're going to pull these 6 8mm bolts, and that'll allow us to remove the valve body. There is some linkage up on these models, but the only thing you should do prior to this point is disconnect the main harness connection, which just has a couple flip latches. Those latches help hold the harness to the solenoid block connector, and they just flip forward and back and allow you to remove it. So I'm going to pull these 6 bolts and pull the valve body, and we'll show you there at the next step. Just wanted to cover filter service kit includes both filters and a pan gasket for two-wheel drive trucks. Part number 72011 ARK. Four-wheel drive is 72011 BRK. Okay guys, I got the valve body off, and I should have probably shown it on camera, but you got to bear with me. I'm in a wheelchair filming this, so my point is in that statement that if I can do this, obviously the transmission's on the bench, but if I can do this in my chair, then you guys can definitely do this at home. Now mind you, you're going to be laying on your back, so things are going to be quite a bit more messy, especially since these pans do not have a drain plug. Valve body out, this is the top side. Here's your solenoid block or pack. Please don't tamper with any of these top bolts. There's no need to touch any of those. I pulled the 6 8mm bolts. With you on your back, you're going to want to be supporting the valve body while you drop those down. Literally, it should just gently pop straight down towards you. There's no need to do too much prying or wiggling on that. The only thing seating that after those 6 bolts are removed is this rubber boot here, and that seals the case so you don't have fluid loss out the case hole connector. So I'm going to turn this over for you. Bear with me if I'm blocking some of the frame. Hey guys, back again. Okay, I've got the solenoid mounting screws removed. or solenoid body mounting screws removed. There's 15 of them. Again, this is the T25, and you can see there, I've got this set up like this just so you can see them all sticking up and raised and elevated. As we begin to remove these, I'm just going to cover some other basics. They're all the same length, so you can't really get them mixed up. When we go to put this back on, the valve body and the solenoid block or solenoid body, solenoid pack, has alignment dowel pins. So you'll need to align those before dropping your bolts in, but some of it, if you start your corners, you can just hand tighten those and it'll help center it and get it lined up. Just move this valve body out of the way. Again, bear with me because I'm doing this in a wheelchair. So here we're going to cover this. Here's your TRS cam plate or detent plate, which for your 99 to 03s this needs to be changed. I'm just going to run through the part numbers towards the end of the video so you guys know the right stuff you need. So here's the solenoid block that comes off. Please be extremely careful when handling here. You're going to turn it up here. You're going to see this plastic guide dowel pin, and these plungers here actuate your mode switch or internal mode switch, neutral switch. It's got a variety of terms. A new solenoid block from us. We have them OEM. They're always going to come with a brand new screen, so you don't need to be concerned with that. You'll notice the dowel pins here. These are your lineup points. So when you go to put the new solenoid on, it makes it easy to get it lined up right. Again, the white plug connector is the update. You'll see the little tabs here on the side. Those are where your flip latches go. When you pull your main harness off beginning this job, the latch literally just comes down and just flips over the top of that. Okay, so here's the bottom of the valve body. We had our 6 bolts that we removed on all these outer wings. Putting it back in, it's going to be really straightforward. You're going to be going in, putting it back up just like it was. Okay, now you're going to notice, turn this around here for you, solenoid's on the bottom. So one of the easiest ways to identify the mounting bolts for the solenoid is to have the solenoid down and all of these bolts exposed. If you follow the perimeter of the solenoid, you're going to see you've got these 2 set screws. Above those set screws, there is some bolts here. Most of those do hold the valve body on, but not all of those. So what I'm going to do now is turn the camera off, remove all those, and I'll come back to it. The key to having the valve body turned away from you is if you remove a bolt that shouldn't have been removed, it's going to stay in its correct hole and not drop the valve body apart. We're pulling just mounting bolts for the solenoid block. I do want to mention something while we're here. There's 2 options on this solenoid block. All models update with the white connector. 99 to 03 normally had a black connector, and there was some random 07 and 08 models that had a gray connector. The white solenoid still. Okay, you've got a governor pressure solenoid on this unit. That's not serviced separately. This is only serviced as a complete assembly. A lot of the times you can notice it'll have carbon, debris, minor sludge buildup in there. If you pull your pan down and you've got some gray sludge on your magnet, please see our other video that we do where we cover. That's entirely normal. You definitely want to clean your magnet off real well. Just a good paper towel wipe down typically works well for that. From the factory, these models come with, and I'm not sure if you can see this, but the factory says to use RTV. We actually firmly believe that a gasket creates a much better seal for these trucks. And again, the filter service kit is entirely the same for everything. The only difference is 2-wheel drive and 4-wheel drive for the main filter. Fits all of those. To incorporate the white solenoid on a 99 to 03 model, you have to also change the detent plate, which you can just probably see the edge of it. And it's the detent plate, or TRS cam plate as it's called, actuates the internal mode switch, which is very much like a neutral switch or neutral safety switch on most other models. So I'm going to get this solenoid off and we'll come back to you here in just a second. Filter kit, and it's a service kit. It's going to include the internal filter, the cooler return, and a pan gasket. We will have a link in the bottom of this video, so you don't have to write this down. You can just go down and find your models, 2-wheel drive, 4-wheel drive. And then for the solenoid blocks, if you have a black plug in your existing model, you need our part number 72420AK. The K in that part number means that it comes with the detent plate here. If you don't need that, you're working on an 04 and up newer truck and you have a white plug solenoid, then you just need the solenoid replacement block assembly. That's our part number 72420A. And again, that'll fit everything 04 and up, whether you have a white plug or a gray plug in there from the factory. That's the update. Going back into this, you're just going to reverse the steps that we've shown here. Put the new solenoid on. You're welcome to flush your valve body with solvent if you want to, but generally as a rule, it's best to just leave them alone. Line up your dowel pins, mount your solenoid, flip it over, start your bolts, and as a rule, it's best to start from this end of the cam plate. So it's going to be from the center of the valve body working towards the other end. And you don't want to go over tight. You want to snug them all down and then come back. And you want those all at 50 inch-pounds, not foot-pounds, inch-pounds. I want to be clear about that. And then mount your valve body and go ahead and bolt that up and just follow around, same pattern, snug them all up, start your opposite corners and then come back to your other corners. And those are 105 inch-pounds, kind of some crucial specs. Definitely make sure not to over tighten those because we're going into aluminum. It's extremely easy to strip those out. So again, inch-pounds, not foot-pounds. For the most part, concluding this video, again, this fits all the 4.7 and 5.7 liter Mopar models that are out on the road today. That's from 1999 and up. Black plug models, you need a detent plate. If you have a white plug in your truck, you just need a replacement solenoid. Typically, after the repair, you're going to refill your unit, get the initial amount of fluid back in there that you started with, or a close measurement of that. You want to start it up, parking brake set, go ahead and move your shifter to neutral, and what that'll do is that's going to engage your pump. That's going to help exhaust any air that's in the system. With it running, go ahead and check the level on your dipstick, and then slowly top it off as needed. That should give you a real close, accurate, getting you to the fill line. You want to be sure not to overfill so you don't blow the front pump seal out. Just take your time with this. I'm doing this on a bench, as I said, in a wheelchair, tools needed, nothing special, just a 8mm regular socket and a T25 Torx bit. Hoping this is going to provide some use and help for some of you guys out there. We love to support you and we appreciate all the subscribers. If you do have any questions about the install on this or can't find a link or are unsure about the fit, we welcome all your questions. Go to CascadeTransmissionParts.com and then hit the Contact Us link and that'll get you right to one of us. Thanks for your support. Have a great day. Final note to cover. On the outside of the trans, the only thing that comes off is the external wire harness connection. You don't remove any linkage. Thanks.